This is the Hcalory 12 volt 5 kilowatt diesel heater with Bluetooth and remote control. I purchased this unit in June of 2023. I purchased it from Amazon and I paid $187 before tax. My previous diesel heater is an 8 kilowatt by Vivor, which I also bought from Amazon. The issue that I had with that diesel heater is that it actually was too warm for the tent. The wire to the power supply was too long because we kept coming up with an error code, and so it was really frustrating. So this time we're going to do it right and hopefully it'll work better. The Hcalory from Amazon arrived on time. It was well packaged and there were no parts missing. So we're working on assembling the diesel heater because it's supposed to snow on Saturday, this coming Saturday, just in a couple days here. So working on getting that assembled, and we noticed that the fuel filter, the fuel line is pinched. So we're going to go ahead and try to unkink that and see if we can reroute that so we don't have any problems with that. These fuel lines are a little bit rigid, so we did have to use the heat gun to soften them up to get them on and off. We cut a new length of fuel line and went ahead and reinstalled that. You may have noticed that those are not my hands. I did have to enlist some help with this project.
Originally, I tried to put it so that I could tighten it this direction, but it doesn't work. They have this angled at a certain direction coming out of here, so that when you slide this on, you gotta have it set up so that the screws on this side to tighten it, and then it goes on there properly.
Used a 7mm and a 5/16 inch nut driver for tightening up the adjustable hose clamps, but you could use a socket as well. This is the black rubber O-ring that's used to seal the fuel port inside the gas tank, so that needs to be put on. Next, you're going to mark where you're going to be drilling into the fuel container. You want to make sure that where you're drilling is going to be on a low part on the fuel container. So for us, we chose on the side. You could certainly drill it on the bottom as well. We used a 9/32 inch drill bit for this. Make sure you're double checking the size before you drill. You want the bit to be slightly smaller than the fuel port because the threads of the fuel port have to bite into the plastic a little bit in order to be sealed. The next step is to put some weight on a string and attach it to the fuel port. That way you can thread it through the fuel container so that it goes into the fuel container on the opposite side that you drilled it, if that makes sense. Watch the video, you'll know what I mean. The blue tape is there to just help protect the fuel port from any damage that might be caused by the channel locks. A 10mm nut driver is used to fasten the fuel tank to the side of the diesel heater box. Then you're going to want to cut the appropriate length of the fuel hose and make sure you used your heat gun again to soften up the hose. There was some debate on how to power the heater. We had really three options. First was to hardwire it to the 100 amp lithium battery that's in the tongue box. Second would be to connect a 12 volt DC plug to it, you know, the cigarette lighter type plugs. And then third was to splice in a regular 120 volt standard plug. The problem with that is that you need a transformer to change it from 120 volt AC, which is alternating current, to 12 volt DC, which is direct current, in order to operate a DC heater. So I purchased an LED driver off of Amazon as well as some quick connectors and spliced them all together. Now, it's important to note that on the driver end, the red connects to the black of the quick connect end in order to get the quick connects to plug together. We used quick connects in this case so that we could have the option later on down the road to power the heater using those other two methods I mentioned earlier. I will definitely provide links for the heater, driver, and the quick connects in the description below. You'll notice that the power draw here peaks on the Jackery at about 160 watts output. And then once the motor is primed and the glow plug is warmed up, you'll see that the draw is only about 35 watts.